Hello and welcome to Sad Times, the podcast by sad people for sad people. I'm your host Alyssa. Still testing out that intro. I don't know how cringy it is, but we're gonna roll with it for now. We have another very exciting episode. We have the second Sad Times podcast guests. That I feel like that wasn't proper grammar, but whatever. I'm just gonna roll with it. We have Medical Miracle, the band from Chicago. Jade is the singer and plays several instruments in the band, and their boyfriend Richard as well is in the band. And I met Jade on Twitter. God, I don't know. I guess a couple years ago at this point. I don't really remember exactly when we started talking. But yeah, we're both really big fans of Phoebe Bridgers. That's kind of where it all started. And yeah, they started releasing music last year and I played it on my radio show, and yeah, now they're releasing more music, so I figured it'd be great to have them on Sad Times the podcast. It was really exciting because this was the first time I interviewed like a band, so I don't know, it was really fun. Yeah, I hope you guys take the interview. Thank you so much. So we're here with Medical Miracle. Welcome, guys, to Sad Times the podcast. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Oh my God, of course. So let's just get right into it. Tell me a little bit about yourselves.
My name's Jade. I grew up in Nebraska. God awful Nebraska. Moved to Chicago like a couple years ago. I'm a Leo. Love writing music.
My name's Richard. I grew up here in Chicago. Always loved music. I've been doing it for forever now. Yeah.
Cancer.
I'm a Cancer.
Now, what about your rising signs?
I'm a Gemini rising and
Interesting.
a Virgo moon. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. You are.
I don't know anything. You know.
He's also a Gemini rising and a Libra moon. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Well, in case you're wondering, my big three, I'm a Capricorn, Scorpio rising, Leo moon. So what is like the music scene like in Chicago? Like, are there like a lot of like local bands and stuff like that you guys like? Is there like a big local scene?
A lot more than I've seen in Nebraska. I feel like people are a lot more audible about it. Like they talk about it a lot more. Yeah, I feel like every other person that I've worked with, they're like, oh yeah, I play the drums. Oh yeah, no, I'm a bassist for my small like band. I don't know, just like I feel like I run into like other musicians all the time. Like as opposed to Nebraska, it's like, oh, what do you plan to do with that music thing that you're working on?
Since you said there is like kind of like a local scene, are you guys looking forward to like, obviously, God willing, when things get back to normal, whenever that is, like, do you like play like local shows and stuff like that? Like, do you have like venues like near you that you can do that?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm pretty excited to reach out to venues, even to like local bars or anything like that to play.
Yeah.
Yeah. With past bands, I've been able to play some venues. So yeah.
So are both of you like all self-taught? Like have either of you either taken like classes for production or like like lessons for like instruments? Like are you guys all self-taught?
Yeah, self-taught for all the instruments like drums, guitar, bass, what have you.
Sick.
And I went to Columbia College to learn more about music production.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so now between the two of you, what instruments do you guys play?
I play all things guitar. I really enjoy a rhythm guitar. I only recently picked up the bass. I really enjoy playing the bass. That's really about it. I can play the keys. Like it's not my go-to. But yeah.
Yeah, I started out with drums, moved on to bass, guitar, a little bit of ukulele, piano.
Yeah.
Started to learn the ocarina just because of
Zelda.
Yeah.
Now, I guess you guys can answer this individually first, and then we'll like join it after. So how did both of you start getting into writing your own music, recording your own music, and stuff like that?
I feel like I've always like picked up the guitar. Like throughout high school, I would just journal, like stupid little poems or like things I could not relate to but wanted to, and I would just like just play like the same four chords, but like find something to it. I never considered doing it for real. Um, but yeah, I think once I saw like Juno, and I was like, oh my gosh, like songwriting must be so easy. Like look at them go. Um, uh, yeah, and it wasn't until before I moved, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna do this for real. Like I'm gonna like really crack down on songwriting. I'd write in my journal all the time. I always keep notes on my phone, just about anything really. I romanticize everything. And it wasn't until like I met Richard when I started really like recording and like taking everything seriously. Because before it was just memos on my phone and hoping that someone picks them up.
And me, I feel like I'm pretty bad at songwriting. To be honest, I'll like show a riff to someone, and they'll like help me figure things out, or like the structure of a song. But I feel like I'm pretty good at like making beats, like hip hop or anything like that. I feel like that comes naturally a bit more. But I feel like once I listen to Turnover, the band, more, I felt like I really wanted to do something in that style. Um, yeah, ever since then, like that was the phase where I like met Jade, and I'm like, I really want to do this for real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how long ago did you guys meet?
September-ish,
like yeah,
20.
Well, we knew of each other around August.
Sort of, yeah. Yeah. My friend met him and he was like, oh, I love to record. And then my friend was like, oh my gosh, I know someone who you can record. And then we got together. He literally picked me up, took me to a studio. I thought he was gonna murder me. We go to his like, he has like a spot that he rented out with his metal band. And yeah, like I showed him, he's like, hey, let's jam. And I was like, can I show you a song? And I played Late Night Drive for him. He's like, oh, I like that a lot. I really like that. And then we decided like sad jams.
That's awesome. So then that was it. Ever since then, you guys been making music together pretty much.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'd get together every Tuesday, Thursday, every week,
Yeah.
work on something or just like pretend to work on something. Just like try to finish something.
That's so cool. Well, so now you mentioned Turnover. Like, who are some of your other inspirations that you had? Like when you started getting music, you're like, or like like an album that you heard, a song that you heard, you're like, that's why I want to make music.
Yeah. So I was working at an old dealership job as like a porter. I would like just drive new cars back and forth, different lots. And on my way, I would like turn on the radio to Sirius XM, and the first song that I really heard in like in the style we're kind of in is Your Dog by Soccer Mommy. I was like, damn, this sounds really dope. I really want to get more into this, and then that's where I went down the rabbit hole.
The indie rabbit hole. Yeah. I feel like every time we make like a song together, we're like our go-tos are like Snail Mail, JSOM, and like for me, I feel like songwriting, I always am like thinking of Phoebe Bridgers, but like it's you can't capture that. She you know, she's so good at writing sad stuff. But yeah, I feel like I'm always going back to like JSOM. I feel like JSOM is always a big one.
I can see that vibe. Like I could totally see the vibe, and like not in a way that like you're copying or like anything like that, but I can totally like see that inspiration. That's yeah, I can totally see that. That's really cool.
Yeah, I love JSOM. 10 out of 10. I'm obsessed with her. Like
yeah, she's great. Do you find inspiration a lot from like other forms of like media too? Like, do you like, or like, do you take inspiration from like movies and like TV shows and stuff like that too?
I think movies are a big thing. I feel like those are like they're so compelling emotionally. Like, when was the last time you didn't leave a theater and dissociate or like find a new personality or something? You know, like I feel like those, like those are so huge. We're actually writing on a song right now based off a movie that I really really like.
Ooh. Are you allowed to say what movie, or do you want to keep it a surprise?
Eternal Sunshine, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I feel like that was a basic one, but it's like, it's good.
I saw that once years ago. Very, very powerful movie. I can't even say anything about it being basic though, because my favorite movie is literally Perks of Being a Wallflower, which is probably the most basic movie I could like you could ever say. But that's a movie that you like how you kind of just described. Like after I saw it, I was just like, oh my god. Like I remember exactly where I was when I watched it. Like I remember when it was. It was like the summer right after 10th grade. Like I was just like fucked up. It was I totally relate. I totally relate.
There's so much
but
trauma
that's
in that movie. Like, they're like,
exactly, and
someone's
that's
gonna
why
be
I'm like,
mentally
yes. I'm like, exactly.
Yeah, I just think movies are powerful, and it makes it easier to be inspired than thinking of something personal. Like it's already something like a story that's out there that makes you feel a certain way.
Interesting. So do you feel like it's easier to write about something that's not personal?
I feel like when I try to stray away from writing about something super personal, because I am getting a little personal about, or getting a little annoyed with always saying I, like, you know, I feel like all of the things I write are super personal, but it's like, I want to have more fun songs, or
Yeah.
ones where it's like, this could be about Jade. This could not be about Jade, you know?
Right, right.
Um,
Are you a big Bright Eyes fan or not really? Or like Connor
um,
Oberst? You could say no because I'm not really.
I'm,
Like
I'm
I won't be
trying
offended.
It's probably a no.
Yeah, no, because like I don't know a lot about I don't know a lot about them. I don't know a lot about Connor Oberst, but I know that he does that a lot, like a lot of like character like stuff in songs. You know what I mean? Where it's not really about him. He kind of like makes like all this like fictional stuff up. Or like something like My Chemical Romance, like Welcome to the Black Parade, like totally just made up this entire story. Like I don't know, I think that's so cool. Yeah.
It just goes back to like storytelling. Like anything can be about anything, and for me, I always want to make something personal, but I feel like I'm trying to stray away from that. So like my go-to is movies, because those impact me emotionally instead of like real emotions that I have received. So I feel like, yeah, that's a good way to go about it.
Yeah, no, I love that. Have you seen any movies lately that have like inspired you like that? Or even I'll open it up maybe like over COVID, like have you like watched, like I'm sure like you know you've been binging like everyone else. Have you seen a movie where you were like, yes?
It's more like Adventure Time. I've been watching a lot of Adventure Time, and the way that Rebecca Sugar like will like have music on the show, even with Steven Universe. I just love how random it is and pure it is, and how it doesn't need I don't know, it's just some of like her, like Marceline has really inspired me. I know Marceline inspires like everyone. Like there's something really cool and really silly about all of her songs, you know? It just like reminds me like I don't need to overthink everything. But like we tried writing a song very like Adventure Time inspired. I think we're still gonna go back to it, but make it a little more
Maybe, yeah.
makes sense.
That's so cool. Well, I brought up COVID, and I know like everyone's probably sick of talking about COVID, but I'm just curious, like artistically, if you feel, because I feel like people have very different experiences with this. If you feel like you were felt more inspired when you were like at home and doing whatever, or if you felt like more like creatively, like if you were like hitting like if you had like any writer's block, roadblocks, whatever, where you're just like I am so exhausted, I have no idea what I want to do.
I feel like the first half of quarantine, I felt really inspired to work on music, but I'm not really experiencing anything right now. It's all the same every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like once we released Late Night Drive, that's when I started to get more inspired on releasing more music more constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like because for a bit you got unemployment because your job was closed down, so we did have more time to work on stuff, even though we weren't doing a whole lot at those first bits because it was overwhelming, like having all this time and, oh, we should finish this, but also like, oh, I'm not sure about it. And I was still working at my really terrible job.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, you were working.
But literally, it was the moment I quit my last job is when we started releasing stuff because I had time and I just had this drive that my life was just like changing and I want to do things and focus on the things that really matter and not like a job, like my
Yeah, of
passions
course.
and everything I want to do. Yeah. We
Yeah.
didn't start releasing until I quit. Yeah.
When did you start writing Late Night Drive? Because you had it done, like you had the lyrics written before you met Richard, right? You said?
Yeah. I think it was like the summer of 2018, summer of 2018. I just wrote it in my room. I really like these chords. I was listening to a lot of First Aid Kit, so it was just me and my acoustic guitar like all the time. And I just started talking about a bunch of dates that was going on like after a breakup.
So when you met Richard, like you just had like the acoustic version, and then when you guys came together, you kind of flushed it out to make it like what it is now.
Yeah. Like somehow we were able to make it into like an indie jam instead of just this acoustic slap. It was really just like do.
What was that creative process like when you guys came together to make that song? Like, or yeah, like I guess finish it.
We had like the rhythm guitar. I had an idea of the vocals, and then we kind of like left it for a little while. And then we came back to it a couple months later. I did some drums on it. And we like polished a few more things.
It changed like hugely. It's like I stopped playing it, I stopped thinking about it, and then we let those couple months go by. I was like, you know what? Let's pick it up. We have everything recorded. Like, let's finally record vocals. And what if instead, like, I had this really god awful high pitched thing in like the outro. I was like, this sucks. How about we just like do a bunch of harmonies and vocals? Like, I'll record this line and I'll harmonize it and I'll harmonize it. And then Richard's like, oh my God, ping pong effect. Let's do it. And so it made the whole song feel like euphoric and like a memory. It was so good. It's just like in my head. It was really cool.
Yeah, so that was like the first song that you guys released, and that was like end of last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I played that on my radio. I played that on Emo Hour. I was very excited. It was on Bandcamp at first, and then a couple months later, you released the two other songs. You released Middle Child and Goodbyes Are for Suckers. So, what was the timeline for those two songs? When did you guys start writing those?
It was really quick.
Yeah, it was a short time.
I was just in our little studio at this 8x8 room. I just picked up my guitar and I have like this old book from that summer that I wrote Late Night Drive it's like full of just random paragraphs and things that I don't think make any sense. I was like, what if I just like took random bits and I made them into a song and I fill in the gaps. So I literally just took my guitar, found some cool chords, and then I took a video of it and I sent it to Richard. I'm like, I think this slaps. Like, I think we should work on it. I don't know exactly what to do for the ending, but then he came in like the next day or the 2 days after and we recorded it. Like, it was such a quick process. And then Middle Child,
we just like wanted something different instead of like just guitars or like any other instruments. We just wanted to mess around with synths. Yeah. Jade was wondering what the lyrics should be about.
Yeah.
Or what was the other thing?
I think like a sibling or like an ex or something. I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, there's something sweet about just like talking about my little sister and how proud I am of her. So yeah, I just wrote this thing and I just like made it seem like it was a phone call. I don't know. I just thought it was really sweet and it gave the album like a different vibe. I just felt like it was really nice just having those two songs next to each other.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. So you guys are still like working on that. Like, is the goal to have an album or like an EP? Like, what are your plans right now?
I think right now we're set on an album. Hopefully we could get it out sometime
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's a
There's a
lot of
couple
work, of
songs
course.
like,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. There's a couple songs that we have like, oh, I feel good about this. We should just go back and polish. And there's a couple songs like I have brewing. Yeah, it's just about getting it done.
So I had the idea to basically rip off Genius, but I'm probably gonna have to call it something else. Not like anyone's gonna come after my podcast and say that I'm copywriting anything, because who listens to it? But just to like go through, because I don't know, I feel like it's so fun, like when you like watch like Claro talk about what the lyrics for Bags mean or whatever. So I feel like it'd be cool to like for you guys to break down the lyrics to this song. We're gonna be doing it for Goodbyes or for Suckers, and yeah, here we go. I am running out of ways to be funny, always the last one to leave the party.
I feel like the song is very personal. It takes place just in this year of my life, both in the summer and the winter. How it was like heartbreak, but yearning. It was like heartbreak stage, yearning stage. And I feel like it's very self-explanatory. Like I went to a bunch of parties and I realized like, oh my God, like why am I still here? But also like I can never make an exit for myself. Like I would always go to parties to hang out with somebody. And then you go to a party and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna go see this person too, because the other person left. That person left. I'm gonna go over here. That person left. And it's like, ah, oh, shit. Like, I don't know, it's just like a circus of a summer. It just felt like just very like it really like shaped me out, you know? Like
Yeah.
Yeah. I just felt like the person who was supposed to be like a comedy friend was like running out of different things. I don't know. It was just a really tough time. It was just like a lot of looking at myself, you know,
Yeah.
like really becoming self-aware.
Surprised by all the ache, it washes it over still. If you never ask me to leave, I never will.
Yeah. I think just going back to that theme of just like looking at myself and realizing things about myself, like I love being there for people. And maybe like I love being around people a little too much, and I never know if I'm overstaying the welcome or if they actually want me there. So like I just feel like I'm almost asking everyone in my life, like, please let me know. Like, should I leave? Should I stay, or should I go now? Like, I don't know. I feel like when I just had that line, if you never ask me to leave, I never will. I had just that on one blank piece of paper. I was like, dang. Was I okay?
That just reminded me of a question I want to ask you after this, but I'm gonna finish this first because I can't stay focused, but I'm gonna try. Wasted all my time crying in the summer, close my eyes and picture it like December.
That one just like really pulls out the different stages I was in that year. I feel like I literally wasted every day when it was hot outside, just being inside and just like thinking. And I was always looking forward to like December. Like I was always looking forward to something else. And for some reason, I always think that things are better when it gets colder, because like it matches the way I feel on the inside, I guess.
That's something I relate to so hard because it's like, okay, seasonal depression is obviously so fucking real, and like the second, I love the fall, not even really the fall, but like when like the winter really hits, you're just like, I fucking hate this. Like this sucks. And then like you get like a taste of sunshine, like the springtime, you're like, yes. And then it's summer and you're like, no, this sucks too.
Why am I here?
Like
Yeah.
you're yeah. Every day's the same. Every day is so still. But if you never ask me to leave, I never will.
Yeah. I mean, kind of like what we were just talking about, like even in the summer, even in the winter, everything just blends together eventually. Like I still feel the way I feel. I'm not really moving anywhere. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like this summer I talk a lot about, like, it was real rough. It was like I was going through a breakup, but also like I was yearning, but I was still heartbroken. So it's just like that back and forth, and just like that depression.
Right. She's always there. And then the chorus, I never will, I never will, I never will, I never will, I never will. I mean, you don't have to explain that if you don't want, you know, I get it's, you know,
I just think that's a fun part of the song, though. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I really like everything that Richard did. I suck at communicating what I want. So I'll be like, so I want the song to be like echoey and like falling apart, and Richard be like, I think I know what you mean. Like, do it.
Wrote our names on foggy windows. Something about it brings me down.
I don't know. I feel like it's super nostalgic to always see a foggy window, want to write something on it. I feel like this one's a little more personal. Like, I imagine just being with someone, like when it's winter. So now we're like the winter stage, and it's like writing our names and realizing like it's not gonna stay. Like our names together are not gonna stay. I don't know. I wanted to be really emo about it.
I feel like that's like a really like cool metaphor, or like not like metaphor, like I don't know. I think that's like something like cool like to mention a song. I like when people take like, because that's such an easy reference. Obviously everyone has written on a foggy window, but like just looking at it through that perspective, I guess, I think that's really cool. I really like that lyric a lot.
Yeah, I think it's really sweet, like seeing two people's names next to each other, you know, in something that isn't permanent, like a tree or something.
Right. It's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah. I think it's innocent as writing your guys' names on the windows next to each other.
Because maybe it doesn't stain, or maybe you don't feel the same, or maybe I hate my name.
And I think that goes back to the lyric, like, something about it brings me down. And maybe it doesn't stay, maybe it doesn't stay forever. Maybe you don't feel the same, maybe everything that I feel towards seeing both our names together on this window, like, you don't feel that way. Like, now I feel down. Like, or maybe I just hate my name, you know? I feel like I always like to throw that lyric in a lot. Something about names and like how we never got to choose it. And that's also a lyric that was in that book. And I was like, I just feel like would fit really well, like with this, you know? Like it's all just my train of thought, you know? Like putting meaning to that.
The question I thought to ask you is when you were talking about how like you always like want to ask like the people around you, like, is this okay? Like, am I too much or whatever? I'm curious what your love languages are, or what your love language is. Cause I'm getting major words of affirmation vibes, but I don't want to assume.
It's crazy that you point that out. That's so crazy, Liz. Yeah, I am words of affirmation, quality time. Yeah, I feel like those are my biggest ones. Like, if I don't get like an audio, like a validation or like affirmation, I feel like all I'm gonna do is spiral. Like, I can't.
Richard, what about you? Are you into your love languages? Do you know? Are you about that life?
Not really, honestly. I'm just vibing, you know?
And that's totally fine. That's totally fine. No, I'm big on words of affirmation as well, because I just never, I don't know, I always think I'm annoying or like whatever, so like I need you to constantly tell me that I'm not annoying, you know?
Yeah. Can I see your tattoo, by the way?
Oh, yeah. And here's my Phoebe Bridgers Punisher inspired tarot card tattoo. If you're watching on YouTube, you're looking at this lovely pic. If you're listening to the audio only version, then you should also go on YouTube to look at this beautiful pic. Thanks. So, just talking about Phoebe, I would love for you to tell the story of how you met her. That's such a cool story.
Man, it's insane. Sometimes I forget that it was real. Plot twist, it wasn't. I went to go see Better Oblivion. It was my last night in Omaha. I was moving, and I found this I figured it'd be a fun thing for my friend and I to do, to go see this concert. We both love Phoebe Bridgers. Controversy. Okay, but Phoebe Bridgers. And we stroll up to the venue, and I realized I don't have my ID on me. Like, it's in a van packed away, and I can't get to it. And then I was like, it's fine, like, I'm a minor. Here are my tickets. You just stamp me, and I can go in. And the slowdown, they're called the slowdown in Omaha, said no, because for some reason we have to be able to validate that you are under 21. I was like, I'm literally telling you, I don't want to drink. I want to see some really great music. And then they're like, no. So I was like, well, shit. And I told my friend, I was like, you go inside, you watch this concert, and I'm gonna figure something out. And she's like, okay. I'm like, okay, take lots of videos. I'll be outside. It was so cold. It was March. I was freezing. So and I found this little like space in the concert where I could like a little crack, and I could like squeeze and look and like see a bit of what was happening. I was like, this is so depressing. This sucks. So I just start walking around the venue. I find touring buses. I was like, am I gonna be this person? I'm gonna be. I have to, right? I text my friend. I was like, whenever the show is done, or you find a good moment, meet me here. We'll just chill, see what happens. When I'm waiting for my friend, she met up with me, and we saw Connor at one point. And I was like, oh my God, Connor, great show, even though I didn't get to see you. He was like, oh, thanks. And like, walked somewhere. I was like, oh, this sucks. And we're outside for like 40 minutes. And then my friend like taps me on the arm, and she's like, there she is. She's right there. She's like, say something. I was like, Phoebe, we have matching tattoos of you on our wrists. And she like stopped what she's doing. She was holy shit, really? I was like, yeah. She goes, I'll be there in just a second. Goes in her bus, comes back out with Marshall. And I was just like red. I didn't know what to do or say. She's like, can I see your guys' tattoos? And we show her like our little ghost tattoos that we have. She's like, oh, this is so cute. Thank you so much. I was like, no, thank you for everything. Smoke Signals was great. And my friend like gives her a bracelet, and we're all just talking. And someone who that we met waiting for Phoebe was like, oh, by the way, Phoebe, this person didn't see you tonight. Phoebe was like, what? Why? I was like, oh, the venue didn't let me, go in. And she was like, oh, well, if that ever happens, here's my email. That's so fucked up. I'm like, thank you. Thanks. We take a picture with her. She saw so many embarrassing photos of her on my phone, like my home screen. And then I moved to Chicago the next day with my friend, just like she was helping me move. And I was like, there's a sold out show for Better Oblivion Community Center here tonight. What's the odds that I can get in? I emailed Phoebe. Someone that works for her got back to me. There were 2 tickets under her names. We got to see that show. It was crazy, like, that she really did that. Like, nothing but, like, good words about Phoebe. She really did that. And my mom got me this huge, it's like this big. It's like a big canvas picture of Phoebe and I, like, taking a picture together. It's embarrassing, but it's, like, funny.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. It was insane. And then during the show, I was in the front row. I was like, thank you, Phoebe. And she was like, oh my God, you came. Like, yeah, I did.
That's so cool. Because I went to the Better Oblivion tour as well. And, like, that was, like, such a good show. And, like, I really did love that album, like, so much. And, like, the reworking that they did, like the rock version of Funeral that they did, like so good. Their cover of Easy Lucky Free, so good. Like I got lucky and I got to see them cover Shallow. I was very privileged in that situation. Like, so good, yeah. But that was just such a good tour. And it's crazy, like, I can't even imagine what venue she's gonna be playing when all this shit is over, because I feel like she blew up.
Yeah, man. I feel like within just like a span of like way less than a year, I went around just like telling people about Phoebe Bridgers and be like, oh, who is that? And now at my job, everyone knows who she is. Like, it's weird. It's wild. It's good for her. Like, she deserves it.
Yeah.
Also, a fun thing about the Better Oblivion was like, La 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 La. Like, I feel like there was something weird about those, like, them coming together, but it worked. Like, for an opening band and like, yeah, main show. It was great.
Did you know La 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 before then, or is that when you found them?
I saw them open for Snail Mail, and I was like,
okay.
at that point, I was like, oh my god, I remember seeing them, and I was like, I don't know what to expect from this band. I'm here to see Snail Mail. I like lost my mind. I was like, she's so amazing. They're all amazing. But I didn't listen to them. I think because I was like, oh, I forgot what band it was. I just won't listen to their music. And then saw Better Oblivion. I was like, okay, I remember now. I'm gonna listen to everything. I also met Lily as well from she's really cool, very chill, very humble, real person, crazy.
Yeah, she seems like she would be really chill. She just seems, I don't know. Yeah. But it was the same thing for me. I never heard of them before I saw them open for Better Oblivion. Then after that, like I was just like they were just like so good. Just so fucking good.
So good live. Like their sound is insane. The way that they translate what they do in the studio to like live, like their gear. Wow.
I totally agree.
Everything.
Yeah, I totally agree. Rich, are you a big fan of Phoebe, or is that like not your?
Yeah, I'm a very big fan of Phoebe. Obviously, I stumbled upon Phoebe just on YouTube, like on my down the rabbit hole. I saw like the thumbnail for Motion Sickness. I'm like, oh, that looks interesting. I'll click on it, and then yeah.
Richard was actually the one to show me Claro. Like,
ooh,
you listened to Claro before I did.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think you love Claro a lot more than I do.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite Claro songs?
I mean, I feel like Eggs is obviously one of the good ones for me.
Claro's so good. I'm so excited for whatever she puts out.
Her
like
voice
I feel like it'll
everywhere.
probably come.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Like I remember first listening to that "Are You Bored Yet" song, and I was like, "What's a Claro? Like, what is a Claro?" And then she blew up. Everyone that I knew. Oh, not everyone I knew, but like a lot of people who always send me song recommendations were like, "Have you heard Bags? Have you heard Bags yet? Have you heard Bags? Listen to some Bags."
I feel like when Bags came out, like Twitter was going crazy for Bags. That's like where I get like a lot of my music recommendations from, or like on Twitter. Like I feel like I just when everyone is talking about something, that's just like I'm like, okay, I should listen to it because we all like the same thing.
I think it's awesome that we met on Twitter.
Oh well, yeah.
Like no context. I followed you, and eventually, at some point, you started following me back too. I was like, you know what? You're so cool. I'm gonna DM you. I don't do that very often.
well, I'm honored, and now here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah, because you were always like I don't know, you were always just like so nice. Like we would just like randomly reply to each other about like when we were like tweeting about dumb shit.
Something about like Phoebe.
Yeah, and I remember like you just started DMing me, and then I remember you DM me the whole story about how you met Phoebe, and I was like, this is it.
Oh my
this
gosh.
is a friend.
Yeah. I think I made you like a girl pool playlist. Like.
Yes, you did. Yeah, you did. Yes, you did.
I love girl pool. Girl pool is awesome.
Yeah. I never listened to them before you recommended me those songs. Getting back to the question I want to ask every guest. I know this is very hard. If you could have any artist cover any song, who would it be and what would the song be?
Okay, the song is Humpty Dumpty by Amy Mann. It's a very sad song. And I think I'd want Whirlpool or Jay Som to cover it. I can't choose because they would take it in completely different ways. But if they would both make it darker, or I feel like Sasami could easily do it because I feel like Sasami and Amy Mann are so similar. Like both with like the lower like voices and emphasizing guitar. I don't know. Definitely that Amy Mann song. I'd say Sasami. I'm gonna just make it a final answer and say Sasami should cover Humpty Dumpty by Amy Mann.
I like that answer. I like that answer a lot. Richard, do you have one? I know it's a really hard question. I totally understand.
I don't know. I'm thinking about like the band Now covering. I have no idea honestly because I don't know.
Like early now or like now?
Now.
No, no.
No.
Because like their first record is completely different to what they do now. It's more like electronics. So I definitely would like to see them turn it like a rock song into more like electronic.
Like a poppy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. No, it's very good.
Yeah, I'd like to see Now cover something.
No.
Anything. So the last segment is just like a song of the day. So it's like whatever any song you're listening to right now that you just want to like recommend people. It doesn't necessarily have to be current. Like it just be something that you're bopping right now. Like this won't be my song of the day because my song of the day is obviously going to be Goodbyes Are for Suckers by Medical Miracle because it has to be. But if it wasn't the case, then my song of the day would probably be Night Changes by One Direction because I cannot stop listening to it. I don't know why.
It's probably Birthday by Finn Lily.
Ooh.
That one's so good. I just love how she gets to the chorus, and it's so like, you know, like it makes my head like nod, but it also makes my heart break. I look for that. I look for that everywhere.
That's what I want in a song. I totally agree. Fan Lily is so fucking good. So fucking good. I loved Breach. What about you, Richard? What's your song of the day?
I feel like I've been listening to a lot of Bring Me the Horizon lately.
Oh, okay.
My recommendation would probably be off their latest release, Kingslayer. It features Baby Metal. I think it's like such a really dope collaboration.
Now I have like a playlist going of all the songs of the day so everyone can like check them out, you know, as they come. Is there anything else you guys want to say like before we close out? Do you guys like have an idea of like when you're going to release more music or like what we can expect from you guys or anything like that?
Well, we're going to be bringing out merch some point soon. Yeah, we're going to be bringing out like dad hats, beanies.
It's a really cute design. I'm very excited.
That is so exciting.
Yeah,
that's the next release for us. Other than that, music-wise, I feel like the next thing I want released is like the whole album.
Yeah, we're working on it.
All right, cool. Well, I'm looking forward to the merch. I will totally cop some. But yeah, look forward to the merch. Obviously, look forward to the album. Whenever that comes, you guys can come on again, and we can talk about the full album. It would be so much fun.
I would love
that.
And
thank you guys so much for doing this.
Yeah,
thank you
so much for literally doing this. This is so cool.
Thank you guys so much for listening to Sad Times, the podcast. As always, anyone who listens to this, I seriously greatly appreciate it. And stay kind and stay sad.